As somebody who has ADHD and a divergent brain, I really struggle with executive functioning. So when it came to cleaning, I was always overwhelmed and I never really knew what to do. So, I searched Pinterest and found a million ideas and none of them really worked for me. But today we're gonna dive into 6 things that did work for me and my brain, whether you have ADHD, you're neurodivergent, or you just have a hard time keeping your house clean. These 6 ideas will help you. The first one is to start a timer. And as simple as it sounds, it is the life-changing thing for me.
Alexa, start a timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting now.
With someone with executive functioning problems, like understanding the concept of time and how long things take, starting a timer is something I did several years ago with decluttering because I never wanted to start. I thought it'd always take me hours. But when I would set myself a 5 to 20 minute timer, I could be done at the end. And I've used this in my cleaning routine also. I absolutely adore this woman named Diane from Denmark. That's her YouTube channel. And I'll link that down below, but she also uses this idea and she does a ton of cleaning videos and they're super helpful. But I have been doing this because I realized in every part of my life, I don't understand the concept of time. And while it is still a struggle to know when I should show up for the field trip to go with my daughter, and I always end up showing about 20 minutes to 30 minutes early and sitting in the car, it helps me to get started. If I want to keep cleaning after the timer goes off, I can, but I can 100% stop when that timer goes off. And then I do a little survey, right? How much did I actually get done in 5 minutes? It starts to sit in your brain that, oh, doing the dishes doesn't take me half an hour. It takes me 5 minutes. But I had to do this over and over and over again before it clicked in my brain. Another thing that's really hard for me is creating schedules and routines. Something that I found on Pinterest years ago and really struggled with were all those cleaning routines. And while I'm not saying don't do one, because I see they must help a lot of other people, right? Because they're everywhere, all these cleaning routines. And so try them out and see if they work for you. But for me, I have tried every cleaning routine in the book, whether it's Monday, you do laundry, Tuesday, you clean the windows, Thursday, you wash, I don't know, the sheets or something. They don't work for me. I've had to, instead of doing a cleaning schedule, build in routines that I do every day without thinking about it, and routines that I see things physically happening and they trigger me. Let me explain. Okay, so things that I do every day. I set off my Roomba in the living room and it goes every day just whenever I happen to walk outside the house. That happens once a day. And so the main floor is always vacuumed. I have 2 dogs and a small child, so it's a must. Something else I always do is dishes. And I don't have a dishwasher. We haven't had one for many, many months now because it broke. And while it's a simple fix, we just haven't done it. And the beautiful thing about that actually is that because we have so few dishes, because I really decided a couple years ago that I wanted to get rid of a lot of the excess, we only have enough for about a meal when we're all together, or maybe a breakfast and a lunch if we're not all together. So by the end of the day, all the dishes are used if we've ate at home all day. So I naturally am triggered to do the dishes every day. Another thing like that is the laundry. I couldn't figure out how to do your laundry on Monday. Sometimes not, I didn't have enough laundry. Sometimes the sheets got dirty on Tuesday. And I was like, well, do I have to wait till Monday? That's how my brain works, literally. I know that's not everybody. But instead of that, this is what I do. I don't have a day that I do laundry. What I do is I look at the baskets. When the baskets are full, I do the laundry. And when I do the laundry, I do the sheets. So I couldn't tell you how many times I do the sheets, but when the laundry basket's full, which is usually once a week, I do the sheets. That's just what works for me. I don't have to think about doing something every day because honestly, if I had to think that I was going to have a cleaning routine every day, my brain might go in and explode and I'd freak out because I naturally think they're harder than they are and I would postpone it forever. but having triggers around your house showing you what you need to do has been a lot more helpful for my brain. So like I mentioned about the cups and decluttering them, and to the point where I'm triggered every day to wash them, that is something in my cleaning routine that is very helpful. If you are overwhelmed in your home, or if your brain just works the way mine does, if you have a lot of things like I did when I had ADHD and I was struggling with it, hadn't been identified yet that this was the way my brain works, I was so overstimulated by things. And while I thought that everything I had to have because that's what society told me I needed, it wasn't working for me. And so I had to do some experimenting with decluttering. And some people that are super organizational pros will tell you not to do this. And that is to have a maybe bin. But for me, as somebody who my brain works this way, it is the only way that I could get rid of a lot of things. And so what I do is, as I was cleaning my house or going through my day, I would declutter things. And if I wasn't sure whether I could get rid of them or not, or I wanted to do an experiment and try living without it, I would put it in a maybe bin. And you can have that anywhere that is out of sight, out of mind. The maybe bin really helped me as a neurodivergent person because I really struggled with making choices. And I know there are lots of people out there that say, just make the choice. You got to just make the choice. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that works for a lot of people. And it does work for me with the things that are relatively easy to understand. But as somebody who doesn't have a great memory, who somebody struggles with just remembering the last time I used something, because I kind of have like a Dory brain. My brain doesn't always remember.
Woohoo! All right, Dory, let's go over this one more time. We know your memory's not the best.
Things that happened yesterday or the day before. If you're struggling with memory, instead of getting rid of something immediately, which might trigger a lot of anxiety and stress, put it in the maybe bin, and then the next week, month, however amount of time you want to give, you realize you never went in the maybe bin, you never went to go get it, you know that you can get rid of it. Whether you look in the bin again or not, I try very hard not to look in the bin, because then I can make every excuse in the world why I should keep it. But having a maybe bin, having something out of sight, out of mind, putting on my schedule when to get rid of it, really helped me to get rid of a ton of stuff that I thought were necessities, but I never actually reached for, never really used. All right, as we're chugging along real quick, if you haven't subscribed to the email list and you want to stay in the loop, it's in the description down below. And if you haven't joined this amazing community here of men and women who are very supportive, then please hit the subscribe button. And of course, if you are following along here, then please throw a heart emoji down below. But let's go to number 4. Number 4, for someone who has memory problems, like I said, labeling and putting things in containers that are like things together has really helped me with my cleaning routine, because I've stopped just leaving a bunch of things out all the time. So it's almost like labeling and grouping things is my, defense, right? If you're playing soccer or whatever sport you like, it's the defense. It's the stopper before you have to go on offense and start fighting back, right? If you automatically have decluttered and now you're ready to start putting things together, having a label maker, amazing, love mine, and then having some containers in places that you notice things, like your cleaning supplies. I found that I have maybe 1 or 2 cleaning supplies upstairs and downstairs, but the bulk of my cleaning supplies is in one container under my sink. So if you want to find anything from trash bags to rags that I clean the house with to the spray that I use, it's going to be downstairs in one container that's easy to grab and go and clean. It just makes things a lot easier for me than completely spreading everything around the house. I have one central area where I know I can find everything. Label making is really great if you and your family are constantly losing things or misplacing them, like jackets, hats, gloves, scissors. Having places around your house, like I like to call them zones around your house. I have a video on zones. If you want to watch it, it's down below. But Having areas that are labeled, or at least where there is a container of like things, is going to be your defense. Stopping things, stopping having to do that extra tidying up every day and cleaning, because you're gonna make those things in the different zones easy to access, especially our zone 1, which is like the things that we're using all of the time, things that we need every single day when we're walking out of the house or when we wake up. They're gonna be right there in front of your face, easy to access. And so we're not having to always go around looking for them. Memory problem there again, right? Like we're not having to try and remember where we put our keys because they're in a right place, a right container, the right spot. Okay, so number 5 is sprints. What I found about my brain is that I used to clean for like an hour or two. Oh my goodness, I can't even. Because I would clean for like an hour or two, be completely exhausted, overstimulated, and just want to burn my house, right? Even though it looked good, felt good, I didn't want to be in it anymore. I was so over it. So instead, if you're having a hard time with that, let's try to clean in little sprints. There are some studies that say like even doing 5 to 10 minute workouts, but doing a couple of them throughout the day is just as good, if not better, for your body than doing one big long workout. And so I think this very much goes with our cleaning routine. If you do a 5 to 10 minute clean, and maybe you just wipe down the bathroom sink and then you're done. Then maybe, when you have a little bit more free time, you go and you vacuum your room and then you're done. And then if you have a little bit more time in the evening, you can clean up your dishes and put them away and then you're done. It's amazing, though those seem like small little activities. When you think about it as a sprint, this is just one quick activity. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make it fun. I'm gonna turn the music on. That's another thing, definitely do. But you're not so overstimulated by what you have to do. Instead of having a list of 5 or 6 things that you need to do right now, say, this is kind of like the morning thing I'm gonna do. And then if I have time in the evening, this is what I'm gonna do. That helps me. I'm sure everyone says something different, but for my brain and my ability to get cleaning things done instead of giving up before I even get started, sprints are the way to go. So this last one is probably the most important, because as someone who really struggled with perfection for a while, and obviously before I had decluttered and I was living in this extremely overwhelming home with tons and tons of things, I could never have it look perfect. But I always tried and it was exhausting, right? Now I've gotten rid of a ton of this stuff. I have decluttered, right? And I'm living in a home where I'm a lot more comfortable with my threshold of things, the amount of things that I can not have anxiety over taking care of and cleaning. That's kind of my threshold. When I am in that good space, I don't mind if things don't all get done. What I really like to do with my daily schedule, which can go into cleaning, is the thought that I have this little tiny brown notebook, and every day I write down probably between 4 to 8 things that I want to get done for work, things that I want to get done for my life. And on there, often I'll put a few things that I want to get done in my house. And then I'll check them off as I get them done throughout my day. And just knowing that I wrote them down and I got them done gives me the satisfaction, that dopamine hit I need in order to feel good about the things that I'm getting done around my house. But honestly, if you look around my house, it's not going to be perfect. I don't live by myself. Things get left out. And honestly, I leave things out all the time and then I forget to leave them out because that's how my memory works. But when I stopped aiming for perfection and I started aiming for maybe between 5 to 10% better, I stop feeling so overwhelmed by things and I actually get more done and my home feels more clean, which feels like it should be the opposite, but it's not. When we struggle with perfection, often we never want to get started. But if we have little small incremental goals, we know and we feel in our brains that these are things that are possible and not overwhelming. I hope that these 6 things have really helped you, woke you up a little bit, or maybe you're already doing some of these things, but I'd love to know what you thought in the comments down below. And of course, If you want to continue learning about minimalism, decluttering, organizing your life, then go ahead and click on one of these videos right here, and I will see you guys again very soon.